We were a bunch of old DME guys that were doing billing, getting prescriptions for physicians. And we said, you know what? We think there's a gap in the industry. We think we can make better devices and go from billing to straight manufacturing. So after 10 years, we have over 8 Class 2 FDA approvals, and we're continuing to grow in the design and development of DME products.
Trevor, what's one product story or innovation from your company that you're especially proud of?
It's our flagship product. The product is named Plasma Flow. So basically what it does is it aids in the prevention of DVT at the home setting.
As an entrepreneur, how do you kind of keep your optimism when the industry is kind of throwing up constant hurdles? Healthcare is obviously not the easiest industry to deal with. How do you keep the optimism?
Optimism is actually one of ManaMed's core values. You know, as a CEO, founder, and president, you also got to figure out, how do you make this place fun to work at? How do we get the customer service experience for our customers? I think myself, by being a leader, is I usually take all the pessimism and just hold it inside. So I'm very optimistic up front. We want to be a pioneer of product development, but then we really want to grow of the side of giving back with patients. We want more patients to come and say, this product saved my life.
All right, welcome back to the #1 DME podcast in the country, Claim to Fame. Today we have Trevor Theriot on the podcast. Welcome to the show, Trevor.
Thank you, Alex. Glad to be here.
All right. Trevor, for anyone who doesn't know who you are or ManaMed, your company, can you give a little background on yourself and what you do?
Yeah, no problem. So ManaMed was founded in 2015, and basically we started with a Class 2 FDA approval, a product called Plasma Flow. But basically we were a bunch of old DME guys that were doing billing, getting prescriptions for physicians. And we said, you know what? We think there's a gap in the industry. We think we can make. So after 10 years, we have over 8 Class 2 FDA approvals. We just got our first Class 3 FDA approval, and we're continuing to grow in the design and development of DME products, but taking it from not understanding manufacturing to now being full ISO 13485 certified.
It's amazing. And you kind of been described as like a trailblazer in medical device world. And before you were doing the whole ManaMed thing, you were a standout kind of UCLA athlete, right? Which came first to you? Was it like discipline of sports, discipline of business? How'd this whole thing unfold for you?
Yeah, great question. I mean, I'm still young enough to rock my UCLA gear behind me, but it was weird growing up, star athlete in high school and then getting no Division I offers and basically got one offer from San Jose State. And I'm like, well, my dad went to UCLA, my mom went to UCLA, I'm a Bruin. So I ended up having to be a preferred walk-on at UCLA. So you go up there, a guy from Southern California, born and raised in Newport Beach, California, paying for his school, and being a fullback, I was like, I got to figure this out. So, you start going against the first string guys as a scout team fullback, and you start hitting them kind of hard every practice. They're like, we're just trying to take practice off, and this young freshman is going full speed in practice. So basically, I got that work ethic, and then ended up being a starter for 3 years and earning a scholarship. But then when I got into healthcare and I was a principal distributor for all of these bigger companies like Oser, Healy Weber, DJO, Bragg, and I'm like, okay, this is great. And I'm growing the territory. And I start looking at the products that are in the marketplace and knowing billing and reimbursement and what the doctors want. It's like, why can't we make this DVT device that's in the hospital and make it tubeless and allow it to go home with patients? So really the mindset came from sports to entrepreneurship. And then as an entrepreneur, I mean, we're grinded every single day. We didn't take any outside funding. So everything has been a grind every single day. So with our customers, we're super passionate, but the cool thing about our customer list, 70% are DMEs. So we really have done a good job of really focusing on E-coded products and developing products towards that bucket of DME.
Trevor, what's one product story or innovation from your company that you're especially proud of?
Yeah, well, I would say it's our flagship product, which great story, but the product is named Plasma Flow. So basically what it does is it aids in the prevention of DVT at the home setting. From a clinical standpoint, there's 2 peaks after a major orthopedic event, and that is, day 4 to 7 after surgery and day 7 to 14. Well, these patients were going home and maybe they were prescribed a pharmacologic option. But as we get into this anti-opioid and this wearable phase, we kind of want to be the leader in med tech and the wearable side. And the good thing is it requires an FDA clearance. So you got to file a 510K. It's a prescription only device. It's highly regulated. which is great. We like that. We like being compliant and like being, regulated. But the funny thing is I'm a startup rep, making very little money. And they're like, all right, we got to figure out how to write a 510K. And, UCLA mindset, I go on the FDA website, I really research it. I'm like, oh my God, this is exhausting. So I'm like, you know what, forget it. We'll hire a consultant. Well, 250,000, 500, way too much money. I'm like, oh, I'm a small little garage in Costa Mesa, 1,300 square feet, one bedroom. I'm like, what are we? I was like, I can figure this out. So long story short, wrote the whole 510K, everything from the summary to the clinical, the performance test, and then submit it. And I'm like, all right, here we go. Let's see what happens. And then I check my email one day and it's April 1st, 2016. I get the FDA approval. And I look at my partners at the time and I said, well, someone's playing a joke on us. It's probably one of the bigger companies because it's April Fool's Day. So we ended up getting that product approved, FDA approval on April Fool's Day. I don't know if the FDA did it on purpose. Sometimes they're funny like that. But since then, we've done over 2 million patients. And the best part about ManaMed, we don't do any billing. So we're not a biller. We don't compete with our DME customers. We just make products and make sure that the quality and the story behind the product is there and it fits what the surgeons or the DMEs are looking for.
I feel like that's got to resonate with them pretty well. But before we go down that path, is it normal to do the 510K and submit that yourself, or do
No.
most people go the consultant route? And how long did that take? That had to have been I feel like a very tedious process and lengthy.
Very tedious process. You're exactly right. Everyone uses consultants. And really in 2015, we kind of started the process, but soup to nuts, it was probably about an 18-month process.
Wow.
And then we just got our first class 3 FDA approval. You're allowed to say approval in the class 3 space because the FDA literally says, we are approving this. A 510K says we clear this. Well, you still have to manage, and we looked at it. But on the approval side, we received that FDA approval for Monofuse, an ultrasound bone growth stimulator, about 7 months ago. And that is one where literally they said, you are the first person that's not a consultant with your name personally on a class 3 PMA ever since 1986, I think it was. And I'm like, I guess
incredible.
I'm brave enough to do that. And some people are like, or you're just crazy.
Yeah.
Psycho. Yeah.
Hey, you saved a good chunk of change.
Oh yeah. Yep. I even had one consultant say, you need to pull this. I'm like, I've worked so hard on this. I'm not pulling anything.
Yep. You still do them yourself now, or are these other ones you've grown, now you have a team or consultants?
Yeah. So the good thing is we have an internal team now. So we have a VP of quality and regulatory, a director of quality. And the best part is I'm able to push them now because I'm like, hey, I wrote a bunch of these. So, where are you stuck? Why are we stuck? And let's think of, what do they really want? And all the FDA wants, and this is where we try to do a good job, is they just want safe and effective products. If you want to be a trailblazer and you want to go through the breakthrough pathway, great. But what is it happens at the patient? Is it increasing, clinical outcomes? Is it getting people to discharge faster? So we try to be that leader in, well, what could we create? Because big companies take 5 to 7 years to create something new. So for a DME company, say this CPAP machine needs this closed, tubing, someone like a big company would be like, oh, we'll just write it internally and we'll add it to our log. And you'll never see the light of day of that product, where we sit down with our customer and say, what do we need? How do we need it? Why do we need it? And then if it fits within our, product pipeline, we could have something as quick as a prototype, as quick as 30 days, a clearance as quick as 8 months.
Wow. And you mentioned also what sets you guys apart is you guys aren't also a DME. You're the manufacturer. So you're out there selling to DMEs as their kind of wholesale vendor, but you're not actually billing the claims and potentially having some sort of I don't know if it's a conflict of interest, but I've seen other models out there where
1,000% it is.
they have 1099 guys and W-2 guys, right?
Yeah. So Wayne, I think you hit it right on the head. Is what ManaMed's secret story is. Do we understand billing and coding? Yes. Are we good at it? Yes. But do we want to be able to sell a widget to a customer and then we send a direct rep behind that and go take that referral? It's not our scalable platform. It's something we don't want to do. And so we want to, let all the Nico Health customers know is that, hey, we're here to just sell product, and we're going to make sure that the product is safe and effective. But also we're here to partner with you and make sure that that product is growing your own business, and we grow together. So we just want to manufacture and work with customers.
Do you guys, so if you get a customer, do you guys give them any insight or assistance on how to build these properly and guidance on that? Or is that up to them? What does that look like?
Yeah, so the legal disclaimer is there, but basically what we try to do is we try to basically say what do we see in the market?
Mhm.
What do the LCDs say? Where are we going? We saw a huge breakthrough with the Lymphedema Act, with Congress going
Yep.
forward with that. So we're always trying to figure out where is Medicare going. If you follow Medicare, you're following all the other payers. Let's be honest. So we're working on a new product, which I won't disclose, but we are actually going to go through the full HCPCS process of working with Medicare to create a new HCPCS. And that will be another legacy thing hopefully ManaMed can put in the industry, is to not only create a new product, create a new fee schedule, and then create something where we actually partner with the government based upon their initiatives that they're telling us.
That's awesome. What would you say has been the toughest part of all of this? Was it funding? I'm sure the regulations are brutal. Convincing providers to even stock these products, or is it something else?
Yeah, so I think the best part is we're completely self-funded. So we have scrapped to get
Amazing.
where we're at. We've never taken any outside investors. We've never even drawn off a revolver with our line of credit. So we've been the company that just keeps investing. And I would say if you look at our org chart, less than 30 people, we pick the right people. So we go out, we know DME is a very small industry.
Yeah.
You got the DMEs where people specialize in bracing and supports. Then you got the DMEs where they're a little bit E-code heavy. And then you got the CPAP, the oxygens, the bed metal, I call it. So we've done a good job of figuring out who the best is and getting them on our team is kind of what we've done.
That's
That's
awesome,
amazing.
man. It's exciting.
Yeah, you don't hear that kind of story too often. Usually it's like a lot of people instantly want to go and get funding, get their Series A or whatever to try to pump it up. But it sounds like, yeah, you did something, a unique path. And I think that's pretty incredible stuff. As an entrepreneur, how do you kind of keep your optimism when the industry is kind of throwing up constant hurdles? Healthcare is obviously not the easiest industry to deal with. How do you keep the optimism?
Yeah, so optimism is actually one of ManaMed's core values. So
There you go.
I try to, you also, as a CEO, founder, and president, you also got to figure out, okay, how do you make this place fun to work at? How do we get the customer service experience for our customers? So I think myself, by being a leader, is I usually take all the pessimism and just hold it inside. So I'm very optimistic up front, but right now DME is facing a huge issue with competitive bid. And I think the DME, and we need to partner with AdvaMed, and we need to make a big push of saying what the benefit of competitive bid for the government is lowering reimbursement. But where does the patient end up in this? We saw this happen in front wheel walkers, and patients were getting discharged without even getting a front wheel walker. And now length of stay was increasing. So now the hospital DRG is going up. So I think it's optimism in this industry is tough because everyone's trying to take you down at the end of the day. And with us being the king of the hill per se on portable SCDs, we've seen many people, basically clone our devices overseas, which has been hard, but we just put our head down and keep working and stay in front of the customers and listen to the customers. I think we're a good partner when it comes to, where is a fair medium where we can continue to scale our R&D and charge a fair price.
Trevor, at the end of the day, a common theme throughout these podcasts is, at the end of all of this, there's a patient, right? Is there any stories of a patient that kind of sticks with you that maybe helps fuel this optimism when you see these measurable results?
Yeah, well, I think my favorite in the field story was before ManaMed was started. Come in the field, don't know anything about healthcare. I'm like, I'm a football player. I tore my ACL. I wore a knee brace, but now I got to go to St. Mary Hospital in Long Beach, and I got to fit a patient at their home in a knee brace, a double upright knee brace. Billing codes L1845. So I basically show up, and I'm in the patient's house, and a pit bull jumps on me, and I see this, and I see the patient in front of me, and the pit bull's not biting me, but I'm like, in my head, I'm like, UCLA graduate. I'm out here fitting a knee brace, and now I got a dog on me. And then I see the patient. I see the patient could barely walk, and their knee is almost hyperextending. And I'm like, ma'am, could you please move your dog or something? And then the dog moves. And I literally sit down with the patient for about 30 minutes, fit the brace, fix all the strapping, and watch the patient stand up, and the buckling went away. And now she was able to ambulate without really just feeling that jolt or that instability in her knee. And you could just kind of see the smile on her face. Now the next step is getting patient compliance. Hey, you need to wear this. I just showed you how to put it on, and you need to wear it. So I think from a standpoint, that has been that was a great in the field experience. I think from ManaMed standpoint, as we're getting into lymphedema pumps, so big pneumatic compression pumps that are prescription only, we're the first with MonoFlow 51 and 52 to work with PDAC, get a reimbursement code on a cordless device. So we're pneumatic cordless, and we're doing what we did in the blood clot prevention space, now in the lymphedema space. And we've had patient phone calls saying, oh my gosh, there's no tubes. I don't have this big pump. And we're seeing leg swelling size go down by about 20%. And the patients are loving it.
That's incredible stuff. How do you kind of measure impact beyond revenue? Is it better outcomes, mobility, patient satisfaction?
Yeah, no, I think the biggest thing is we all get so hot and heavy over designing new products. And sometimes if you don't have clinicians part of that design process, you think you created the best mousetrap ever and no one buys it. And you're like, okay, what are we doing? So I think at the end of the day, revenue's there. Revenue keeps the lights on. Everyone, being a sales guy at heart, sales drives growth. But when you actually start to see your internal culture and your internal org chart and how patients or how your employees are showing up excited, happy, and they're actually driving change, within our own organization, then they come to us and say, hey, Trevor, red light therapy is really taking off. I'm like, oh, here we go. Tell me more. You want hair regrowth? And they're like, no, we're actually seeing more orthopedic surgeons and DMEs start to use red light therapy for deep heat for pain. Well, this is an employee that provided us the idea, and we said, okay, what's the big market for this? And they said the VA government is very big on it, and patients are raving about red light therapy. So we'll have a red light therapy device coming to market in probably 60 days or less, made in Mexico. So we're hoping to get USMCA compliance.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've only heard great things about red light therapy from anyone you speak to at the gym, or anyone who's doing anything remotely athletic or has pain. Anyone who's tried is like, this thing works.
Yep. So now we're going to put our ManaMed spin to it, maybe build it into a brace. Hopefully
nice.
60 days is crazy.
Competitors aren't listening. Yeah, we're fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I heard that
there's
concept to reality in 2 months.
Yeah, that's wild. I even hear people they kind of put it on their mattress. You can just lay down on it and just kind of sleep and feel good in an hour or something. I don't know how exactly it works. I know it goes deeper into the muscle, but I've only heard great things. So good stuff for you guys.
Yeah, we're excited. It's and you see Hyperice and Normatec come out with their version, but the good thing is we play only in the medical department, so no consumer products.
The crazy face mask one.
Yeah.
My wife actually has one here.
Yeah.
Here it is.
There it is. Yeah.
I wear this for the rest.
Order while we were placing our order. I didn't order a couple hand and the hat. So we got a hat, a face, and a hand coming in for our employees, which would be pretty.
Does the hat do the hair regrowth, or is it something else?
I guess so. I mean, I don't want to make any claims, but who's to say me at 38 use. Now? I might try it. Because that's the intended use.
Why not?
Trevor, if you fast forward 10 years from now, what do you want ManaMed to be known for?
So ManaMed, we want to keep the trailblazer in the industry. Our goal is to be the market leader from a class 2 standpoint. If you look at, number 1 player being Innovator, number 2 player being Bragg in our space, they have very minimal class 2s when it comes to wearables for DMEs. With us having 7 and another 8 coming down the pipeline, we want to be a pioneer of product development, but then we really want to grow of the side of giving back with patients. We want exactly what Alex said is we want more patients to come and say, this product saved my life, or I have a high risk for blood clots and I don't feel comfortable taking Coumadin or warfarin, and I'm 75 years old. I'm about to have a total hip at this surgery center. This procedure is completely foreign to me. We know one person dies every 6 minutes, unfortunately, from a blood clot, and we want our device to be their anchor of, okay, I can walk after surgery. My doctor says I can take aspirin, but when I'm in pain and I want to watch TV, I have a plasma flow around my calf that I know clinically will hopefully diminish the risk of getting a blood clot. That's what we want to be known. And I think when you only have less than 30 employees, getting the brand out there is tough. But we're scrapping every single day to get ManaMed's name on the tip of every orthopedic surgeon, every DME. And then eventually, who knows? Maybe we'll run a Super Bowl commercial like Stryker did and say, here's this cool device by ManaMed.
Yeah. My younger brother, he played college football. He works for Stryker. I feel like that's like,
There's definitely a common thread there, right?
yeah.
Yep. Yeah, they do
sure.
the Gallup entry process, and a lot of former athletes. I remember I used to sell spine hardware one time, and Stryker rep walks in, guy's like 6'7". I'm like, all right, me little 6 foot. Hey, what's up? What sport do you play? He's like, I'm an Olympian. I'm like, okay, yeah, you look like one.
Yeah, that's my brother. He's huge.
Yeah,
It works.
awesome.
It works.
That's awesome. Trevor, I think we could move on to our rapid fire round. It's kind of how we close out every podcast. It's kind of like a this or that. Are you ready for it?
Love it.
All right, cool. First one, game day or boardroom day?
Game day all day, especially this Saturday.
Let's go. Startup grind or corporate polish?
Startup grind with a flair of corporate polish.
I like it. Weight room workout or morning meditation?
A weight room workout for sure, especially with Wayne
Yes,
taking
sir.
us to war.
Get all
I'm, like,
jacked
worried
up
about
before
it
the podcast. UCLA football win or ManaMed product launch win?
UCLA football win if we're playing USC.
Done. Big risk with high upside or safe play with steady growth?
Oh, big risk all day long.
Coffee or a protein shake?
Pre-workout.
I know. Well, I set yourself up for that one. That was perfect.
Yeah.
There you go. Innovator or operator?
Innovator.
Coaching a team or being coached?
Coaching a team.
That's it. Cool. Trevor, thanks for coming on today. If anyone wants to reach out to you or reach out to ManaMed or find out more information about your company, how can they reach out to you?
Yeah, so ManaMed.com, you can click become a customer. We're here, just doors always open. My door, my cell phone's always open. If you got a question about DME, you're carrying E-codes, or you're a DME with contracts or winning a competitive bid, call us. We have that, when the crutches were on back order during COVID, we added crutches to our catalog. So if you have questions about lymphedema, E0651 or E0652, or you're looking for other codes besides, CPAPs and oxygen, reach out to us. And, we appreciate, Nico Health and the partnership, because it feels like our stories align on the grind. We're both young, energetic, passionate. And at the end of the day, we're creating solutions for our customers.
Right on.
100%. I love that.
Nailed it. Trevor, thanks so much for joining today. This is a lot of fun. Hopefully we can do this again.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Trevor. Appreciate the time, man.